Okay, my final thoughts on the Servicios Aventuras primers, small pistol primers from Argentina. I know I didn't pronounce it right. But the main complaints people had, A, was the packaging. I had no trouble with it. I went and picked it up, and even if somebody packaged it correctly in a box, I had no trouble with the packaging. Okay. As for seating, now some of these primers, people have said, takes a lot of force to seat them. Now, when I did the part where I was seating them, you notice a little bit difference in there, but I'm going to have to say, and a spoiler alert, because I found another brand and I was starting to test, that there is a noticeable difference and you had to use force. These here, when in normal, there was no excessive force. In the 100 that I done, and running them through your priming equipment should be absolutely no problem. I had no problem with that. Okay, so let's go on to the types of guns I had and the functioning with these primers. Okay, one gun that I've consistently had trouble with light strikes, even with factory ammo, the Taurus G3C. Now, I had occasional problems with light strikes, but with these primers, it was like a 50% failure rate. It was abysmal. So if you have a gun that is sensitive, a striker-fired gun or any type of gun that is sensitive to a lot of this foreign-made ammo, then I would not recommend these primers. When I used the Beretta 51, which is an older hammer-fired pistol, this gun does not light strike with the foreign ammo, and it ran through these primers, a magazine, just fine, and I loaded a bunch of light strikes and it detonated them all. Okay. Now we go on to another light strike. The Taurus GX4 is a little bit different of a pistol, different system than the G3C. And I think they engineered this one a little bit better. It's a newer gun. This particular firearm had just one light strike, which is about what it does with the factory ammo. Okay, so we're going to say it worked fairly well. It's the same results, okay, with the other ammo. Now, we went with the Canak. Okay, striker-fired gun. Canak bunched it up, good, no problem. No light strikes, no issues whatsoever with the Canak, with these primers. All right. Then we have the striker-fired pistol, the Stoeger STR-9C. This gun has, out of all of my budget guns in the testing, never had a single light strike on any ammunition whatsoever. This pistol fired all the ammunition loaded with these primers, and I took all the remaining light strikes, just like I've done in the other tests with the factory ammo, and this pistol fired them all. Alright, my final conclusions on these. Since these are the most economical primers I can get, they didn't function well. Actually, they functioned a lot worse in the guns that were sensitive to the harder primers or the foreign-made ammo. Okay, but as we've seen, they were 100% reliable in different firearms. Okay, much like the hammer-fired guns. So yes, okay, if you're looking for like federal primer functioning, this ain't gonna do it. I believe all of these off-the-wall brands are gonna be like this in one form or the other. It had a high failure rate, 50% in one gun that is sensitive, and pretty much one light strike in another gun, which that's the way that gun is, but it had 100% rate in the other pistols, which were both striker-fired and hammer-fired guns. So, you know, it's a tough call. If you only have one pistol and this was it and you're reloading for it, you will not be happy buying these primers, okay? I myself am pretty satisfied with them. They do work in these, most of the guns. For reloading plinking ammo, okay, not for carrying. If I was carrying these guns, I wouldn't put the ammo in it. But just for going out to the range and shooting, I'd use them just for blasting ammo. I wouldn't be afraid to buy them, okay? But then again, it is like I said, some people only have one gun. They don't have an assortment of guns to try them out in. So, but I'm going to say they're not bad, not for the money. I'd still prefer to use Federal or CCI, but if this is all you got, I wouldn't be too afraid of it, but be warned. If you have a gun that's sensitive, it might not work very well at all. Okay, so that's my thoughts on it. We're going to move on to another brand and see what we get. Oh, and if you're asking about were there any, a lot of people review these in the consistency, like they say that the shots have different power and that. There was absolutely no variance in terms of, you know, a weaker load or that. Everything was consistent in 100 rounds. Everything shot the way it should. There was no audible or felt differences as per, you know, the spark of the primer being off. I didn't notice that whatsoever. That's something a lot of people, you know, bring in there. But no, if they went off, they went off. Very consistent. All right. So I'm going to move on to the next one maybe in a week or two, guys. So stay tuned and keep an eye out for me testing these other brands.